the roadmap, okay, for if you are looking for job switch, okay. So what is the roadmap? What is the mandatory skill set you required? Okay. So first of all, guys, your testing skills. If you are a tester, end of the day, you have to find a defect. We can't avoid these skills. Okay. So because of these skills, you are going to automate the things. Your automation will find the defect. Your automation is not going to perform well, and we have a defect leakage in the production, then it is a useless. Correct, right? So how you are testing in the manual, right? And our perspective is to provide the quality of the product to the customer, right? The same thing if you are testing UI, if you are testing API, if you are testing any other stack or anything. So you have a positive and negative mind to cover all the test coverage. Okay. So first of all, the testing skills are very important. I am just guiding you if you are struggling to switch the company or if you are looking for job switch. So testing, manual testing concept, I can say software testing concept, right? So just we have a checklist, basics knowledge of SQL. This is the one part, and you have a hands-on practice of Jira. Many of them are already working. You have a very good experience, but sometime we are stuck in the interview. When you will come in the second part for the automation skills, if you will not mention the automation skills in your profile, it's a very difficult to get the interview calls. Okay, so automation is mandatory skills now these days. Okay, and now still people are confused. We have a many AI tools are coming in the market and all. So what happened with the testers? So nothing will happen. The, we can use those AI tools. We can increase our productivity. Okay. How you can save your job? Okay. So you can see many, um, I'm not sure about the future also. Many tools in the market we have. Okay. So they are doing means based on the AI, and it's a I could see um, we have to not struggle much. It's a comparing the data, but still we have a not 100% they are able to catch the defect and all. Okay, the best thing is to save your job. Learn one programming language. Do not go behind of codeless automation tools. Many codeless automation tools are there. Okay, so many people are struggling, so they having the codeless automation and they don't have a programming skills. So in the future it will create a problem for you. Okay, go for Java, go for Python, what you are comfortable with. Okay, so Sinu, can you please close your video? Please, all of you, close your video. Okay, uh, because this is the recording session and it will be a share to everyone, so I don't want to any personal things will be go in the public. Okay, so that's why we are not enabling the video. Many of them are requested to enable the video, but some of them are comfortable, some of them are not, so we do not ask to enable the video. Okay, then if you have to learn any programming language, you can go for the Java or Python as your wish. This course we will cover API basics concept. We have a hands-on practice with Postman. Then rest assured. Rest assured you have a basics knowledge of Java. Okay. So if you don't have a basics knowledge of Java, it's a difficult for you guys. Okay. Because if you will go for the job description, they are looking for you have a good experience in API automation as well. After completing the course, you can nicely put 1 year or 2 year of experience in API. When you will mention these things, right, then the calls will come definitely and you are able to crack the interview. Okay guys, I will also share the syllabus. So first of all, just I will give you a introduction of myself. So my name is Mohit Kumar. So I having around 10 year of experience. So still I am working and teaching is my passion. So last 7 to 8 year I have classes. Okay, so so now we have two classes are going on still. Three batch are going on. Java Selenium and this is for the API testing will starting. Okay, worked with the different client like Google. Okay, so but it's a very complex system. The thing what I observed last 10 year, mostly I am the automation resources, so mostly I'm getting the project of the automation. So if you know the how the code flow will work, right? Understood, right? So you guys can work on the any framework. You should know how the code flow will work. Okay, understood, right? If you have a that knowledge, it's a easy to automation will become easy for you. Where the people are lacking, the mostly people are lacking on the programming language. Okay, that guidance I will also give you in my session. Suppose you are attending the interview, you are rejecting in the interview, so I will guide you also. We have a number of mock session as well. Okay, so we will provide you into in support, but your job is to what I am going to teach you. You have a good knowledge. Like suppose I am teaching you any topic, so you have a better understanding. You are able to explain properly what happened. Sometimes the people are not present properly. They are rejecting in the interview. They are good in the practical, but they are not able to present. Okay, so that all the things will will do the correction in your mock interview if you are interested. Okay, priority is if you are learning API, if you don't have a knowledge of UI means any UI like go for Selenium, Java. So this is the mandatory skills nowadays days. One programming language. This is for Java only because rest assured is developed on the Java. Okay, Java, Selenium, Cucumber, API testing. You have a knowledge of Git, Jenkins, and minimum you have a 3 year of experience in automation testing. Then only you will get the interview calls. And the resume preparation is also important. I could see many wrong formats are there. The database is not understanding. Naukri database is not understanding your keyword, what you are defining in your resume, right? And LinkedIn also not. So you are not getting the proper calls. So these are the guidance I will give you. Okay. So what we can cover in this class? Okay. So first of all, you have to understand some terms, basic terms of the API means what is API, some of the example of the API. Then after that, what is API testing? What is the difference between API testing and UI testing? And what are the common types of the API? What tools, trending tools the industries are looking for? What is REST? What is URI? You can say the endpoint. What is the JSON structure and what is the SOAP POI? What is XML? So SOAP POI is the legacy type of the API and still if you will go for 10 company, one company is also using this SOAP UI, but that is not a big deal. Okay, then we can have a hands-on practice on the Postman. So almost companies are using the Postman tools. Okay, so what we can do, we can try to validate first of all manually. So one of the challenges, what we have in your, API testing to creating the data. Okay, so how to create a data? So you will get the some specification document from your business team or the whatever the tickets you are getting for the testing. They have a proper description, user acceptance criteria. If you don't have, you can reach out to your developer and you can reach out to your business analyst team. Okay, so here you should not struggle. Better you can just reach out and collect all the data because here one of the most challenging things for the data creation. Okay, so you have a specification requirement document and you are creating the first page of the data creation, then only you can start your automation, right? If you're not clear with the functionality, then how to start your automation? So these are the things are important. Okay, so we will try to important methods. So whatever the important method we have, right, like get method, post method, put method, we will go in the depth and we will try to create a data and we will automate those script. Okay, using the rest assured. Another most important challenging things in the API is your authentication and authorization. So we have a different types of the authentication, right? Different types of the tokens are available. So how to create for the real time, like Google and Spotify API, we will see in the real time. Okay, how to create and all. Okay, I will share this document, many things whatever we have in my PPT. Just I have written in the syllabus high level. I'll show you that PPT also. We have a multiple part of the PPT. So in this session, we are learning rest assured in the depth. Okay. So for rest assured, the prerequisite is you have a basics knowledge of Java. Otherwise, it's difficult to understand. Okay. So you guys can go through my YouTube channel also. You can learn the brush up your Java skills. But yes, we will try to, while writing the code, we will try to explain the Java knowledge as well. If you are guys are not able to understand, let me know that whatever the line you are not able to understand, line of the code, I will try to explain with respect to the Java as well. Okay, so we will go for this all important concept of rest assured. Okay, so this is your, I'm not going to read one by one this, so I'll share this syllabus. You guys can track what is covered and what is not covered. So Pojo class is one of the another most challenging things. Yes, with this uh, I will share with you YouTube channel name is Ingenious Tech Hub. Okay, okay, so type in the Ingenious Tech Hub, you will get it. Okay, and I will share guys the link, I will share. Okay, so many things I do not have a details in the syllabus, but while learning like in the frameworks, so in the frameworks we have a many component on the framework here, right? We can also cover Git and Jenkins, that is the important tools with respect to the automation. So we will have a mock interview also and resume preparation, and we'll also have a placement support. See, the people are other institutes are committing with 100% placement. As a experience, right? You will get genuine calls from the Naukri and LinkedIn, but you have a proper, and many of them are not getting the calls because you don't have a proper resume. Sometime everything is fine, but still you are not getting the calls. Then you have to wait, guys. Sometime market is not good. Okay, so you can't do anything. If market is not good, you have to wait. So in that duration of the time, what you can do, you can just have a proper practice, proper preparation. If you will get the opportunity, then um, you are able to crack the interview. Okay, so you should not get frustrated if you are not getting the calls. Understood, right? So this is the syllabus and all. If you guys have any doubt regarding the syllabus and all, let me know. We'll start sometime.
फोन बंद है फोन बंद है क्लास అయితే వింటున్నా
Please mute all of you. Sister, please mute all of you. Anyone having any doubt related to syllabus? Anyone? Actually, regular class timing is 7:30 p.m. IST to 8:30 p.m. IST. This is the regular class timing, guys. Okay. Other things we will discuss later. So we'll go through some of the topics. What is API? What is API? Anyone? What is API? No idea? You guys never learned before what is API? Yes, this is the uh, application programming interface. Fine. But my question is, can you give me a one real-time example of API, how the API works? API stand for application programming interface services. Okay. So, I understand services given the request and response. It's communicable between two apps. Okay, it acts as the interface between the two system. Google Map used in the another website we call using the API. Good example. Yes, this is the another example. Book my show. The request that we send to hit the server and responsorship in turn. Yeah, this is also fine. So many examples are there, guys. So someone has already pinged those example as well, right? Book my show or Google Map, right? So if you guys are not sure about of the current implementation of if you are using Ola Cab, right? So Ola Cab doesn't have their own map. They are using Google Map. Okay. So Ola Cab app is your client and Google API is your server. Okay. So you are sending all the information. Suppose you are searching from and to location, right? And what are you going through the cab, auto, bike, or what? So this is the information you are giving to the server, right? So this Ola Cab app and Google app, how it will communicate. That is what we have a middle person of API. So many examples we have. Suppose you can go for Make My Trip also. Make My Trip doesn't have any airlines. Okay, this Make My Trip is providing the service for the other airlines. Okay, so suppose I have to go for Bangalore to Hyderabad. Okay, so this is the Make My Trip is your client. Okay, so now and definitely you have a UI. I can't give you if suppose someone is non-technical guy. I ask them use API to book these tickets. 90% people will avoid this. So UI interaction is must be required. But in the back end, we are using API. Okay. So that's why all of means almost application. So nowadays days almost application we have a API and UI automation testing you can say both requirements are there. So that's why company is looking for you have a very good skill in the API testing as well means API testing as well manual and automation. So you can see I am just going to click on the search. So we are retrieving the data from the server. Okay, what is the server here? You can see we have a different airlines Indigo uh, and other airlines. You can see we have a different Air India, right? So these are the other airlines who is sending this communicating like we are communicating between client and server. How? In the middle uh, person is called your API. Understood, right? So again, we have a different types means HTTP methods we have. So accordingly, we are going to validate the API testing. Okay, so we will discuss. Okay, so just I'm giving you many example. So someone will ask you what is API testing, sorry, API. Okay, so you guys have some knowledge and you are able to correlate with the applications. Okay, you guys are using Zomato, right? And you are searching the pizza, right? Zomato doesn't have any restaurant. Understood, right? So Zomato is the client, and when you are searching any food, it will list all the restaurant. So in the middleware, we have a API. It's a communicating with client to server. Okay, so many app example you guys can give for the API. So we have created a beautiful document. Okay, that document will help you to do the revision. Okay, so these are the PPT we have, part 1, part 2, part 3. This part 1, part 2, and part 3, we are going to discuss API, what is API and all basic term of the API, then how to install the Postman and how to execute all the types of the HTTP methods like get, post, delete. Okay, then once you are familiar with this all the things, then we can move on the rest assured. And in our session, we are teaching the rest assured in the depth. Okay, so this is dedicated for, mainly this session is dedicated for rest assured means API automation, because Postman and all, if we will understand one this concept, that is fine, it should not struggle much. Okay, still people are joining anyways. So we will explore bit, okay, with the documentation what is an API. So this document will help you to do the proper revision and proper practice, so you are able to prepare your interview preparation well. Okay, so you should not have any doubt while explaining this. An API or application programming interface like a messenger that helps different software application talk to each other. It allow one app to get the information or service from another, even if they are built differently. What do you meaning of build differently? Uh, suppose this application make my trip develop on the Java and Indigo is developed on the uh, JavaScript. Okay, so if we have a different text, then we can also able to communicate with one application to another application. Imagine you are using a food delivery app to order a pizza, and when you place your order, app must communicate with the restaurant system to check menu, prices, availability. The food delivery app uses the API to connect with the restaurant system and send your order details and get confirmation. In short, API helps the different software system to work together smoothly, just like a bridge communication with two places. Okay. Who is this? Actually, I have to land on this page to accept. Understood, right? So this is the one real-time example you can explain if someone will ask you. Can you give me a one real-time example how the API works? So scenario ordering the food via mobile app, and this is what day-to-day activity we are doing, right? So everyone using Zomato, Swiggy, other app for the food delivery. Imagine you are using the mobile app to order food from a restaurant. The app doesn't cook or prepare the food, but it helps you to place the order with the restaurant, and here how this works. Client means mobile app means your Zomato, right? The user open the food ordering the app and their smartphone and select the pizza from the menu. Request what you are going to request. Okay, so when the user press the order button, the app send the request to the restaurant system through the internet, and this request is message to containing all the necessary details like pizza type, size, delivery. So when you are sending the request, right, when you are hitting the request, it will display all the restaurant. Suppose you are going for the Domino's, which pizza you are going to select, this all the information, right, displaying over there. And this is once we'll do the order, right, it's communicating. So API is the middleman. The API acts like a better, and it receives the user request order and translate into the format of the restaurant system can understand. The API does not make the pizza, it's just like a deliver the order to the kitchen or restaurant server. Okay, many example you can give the example of Ola, you can give the example of Make My Trip, how you are comfortable, you can give the example. What is the server here? Restaurant system, like Domino's. Domino's is the server. The restaurant system receive the order through the API and check it can fulfill the request, like checking the ingredients time, and once confirmed, it will start preparing the pizza. What is the response? After order is confirmed, the restaurant system send response back to the API to mobile app to updating the user with a status your order is being prepared. The client means mobile app, the app shows the user that pizza is on the way and completing the transaction. Okay, this is the one flow. This is flow can be visualized the following component. If someone will ask what is client, what is API, what is server, request and response, arrow showing the data transfer. So if someone will ask you what is API, explain what is API, give them one proper example, real-time example with the component like client, server, API. Okay, so they're having the more understanding. Just one snapshot for the Make My Trip. So now developer has developed this API and your responsibility, you are going to test the API. That is what we have a API testing, right? So in the backend, how the uh, Zomato and means Zomato app we have, right? So in the backend we have a API. Then you have a responsibility to test your API, right? That is what we have a API testing. Okay, so what the developer had developed this backend API, we are going to test it. The most challenging thing in your API testing to creating the data, okay, we use in the form of 90%, 95%, we use a JSON a structure only, okay, for REST API. Okay, SOAP is a very complex and it's a legacy one. Okay, so still few of the company, it's a very rare you will get the SOAP API. Okay, but REST is most commonly used. Okay, so what is API testing? So API testing is a process of verifying that API application work correctly. It means checking the return expected result, handle the different scenario like error. We can go for the positive scenario, we can go for the negative scenario. Response quickly when the result is made. Let's if you are using the online shopping app to check if the product is in the stock. When you search the product, the app uses an API communication with the store database and find out its item is available or not. Understood, right? So this is the example of e-commerce. So API testing would be involved in the checking what it will check the correctness. Does the API correctly report whether the product is in the stock? Performance is very important. It should have another parameter we have to test. If you are sending the request, it taking long time, so it's also become a tedious for us. Okay, does API response quickly when the product is searched? And error handling means negative scenario, what happen if the product does not exist? Does the API handle this smoothly? In short term, API testing ensure uh, communicable bridge between the uh, different browser component as expected in all situation. I will also guide you. Okay, once again, we'll explore more. You know, while doing the practice, what the other component we have to test. So we in the detail, right? You are getting the response. We have to test also the response body, what is means expected value. Then we have a status code. Okay, then we have a header sections. Many things are there. Okay, just I have written the high level. Another interview question is what is the difference between UI and API testing? Okay, so this is the most frequently asked question. Okay, so it's a guys practice, and when you are going to visualize, if you did not execute API till now, and definitely you are just little bit. Okay, I will start few of the API how to execute and all. User interface UI part you guys are already used that. Okay, so you can just visualize the point. The feature is the focus. Test the functionality of the API and the backend business logic. So we are testing the backend business logic, but I test the visual interface and front end user interaction. So here we are testing the front end layer of the testing. This is called your business layer, that is called your server side. And layer here for the UI, we have a graphical user interface, that is called client side. A speed wise, and definitely this is the more faster than the UI. It is a faster since it does not involve rendering the API, but here slower due to rendering and interaction with the graphical user interface. Many scenario examples I already given you. Another example in a banking app, right? Testing if API correctly calculate interest when data is sent to the server. But the same activity you will do in the UI, then we have to interact with the UI, and it's also having the rendering, right? So verifying if calculate interest button is clickable and show the result on the screen. Another example for the e-commerce app, an API calls made to check the product availability. API testing ensure that the right product details and stock status are returned. UI testing checks if the product details like image, price, availability display properly and when viewed on the product page. Tools, right? So we have a many tools in the market. The most commonly used in this session, we will cover the Postman and Rest Assured. So POI also one of the tools we use frequently, but it's also not much complex interface. Okay, if you want to learn many tutorial, you will get it, but you can explore now Postman and Rest Assured. Out of 10 company, 8 companies are happy with these two tools. Okay, and UI, many tools are available like Selenium, Catalan, and many tools are there. Okay, so even the Playwright is also came in the market. For the data validation in the API testing, validate data correctness, status code, response time, error handling at the API level. So validate that the UI element like button, text, fields are working as intended and the data shown match the expected. That is what we have a UI. Test dependency. So independent of the UI can be tested even if the UI is not built. That is the one of the most important things. So we cannot wait our UI is going to build, then we can start do the testing. So we can independently we can test our API. Depends on the UI being fully developed and functional. Example and issue. So what the types of the defect you can have. So API send the wrong product information like price and description. So in the UI defect, add to cart button is misaligned or non-functional in the UI. The purpose ensure that the backend API perform the expected business logic correctly. So we'll get all the specification requirement document. Accordingly, you can write the test cases, what is actual and expected. Accordingly, we can test it. Okay. Ensure that user interface works as a part of user experience design. Maintenance, and definitely it is easy to maintain as compared to the UI. So it's not changing frequently once it is developed, but UI part you can see minor changes. They have to do changes many things. Okay. Easy to maintain since API rarely change once it is designed. More prone to maintain as UI. If you guys already work in the UI, you have some idea. If you don't have, then just we can realize, what are the common types of the API we have. So we have a REST and SOAP, guys. So REST is most frequently used nowadays for the, companies are going to use it. SOAP is bit complex, and we have some inbuilt security, but here we have a different types of the authentication. It's a more flexible as compared to the SOAP. Okay, we can have a more point. I will give you difference between the REST and SOAP. Okay, so this is the one of the another questions, interview question we have. Okay, we have a GraphQL. So I'm not going through this other API because it's not frequently used, but for interview perspective, just I have mentioned over there. Okay, so you guys can read this WebSocket API, gRPC, this is for the Google and Open API. So many more types are there, but REST and SOAP, almost 95% companies are using the REST API. Still, some of the legacy applications they are using the SOAP POI. Okay, so this is the different types of the API. The tools I already explained you. In this session, we will focus on the Postman tools. This is also open source, and we have a SOAP POI also. Okay, so later you can enhance, means I can say, if you want to explore yourself. Okay, so later you can learn, but it's a your choice. Okay, now rest assured we can learn in the depth. Then we have a JMeter. So JMeter I'm not covering in this syllabus. Okay, so for performance testing we have a specific profile for the JMeter. So from there also we are testing the API. If you want in the future, this is not much important, but if you want to show your experience in performance testing as your wish, you can later you can explore. If you have a API knowledge, it's a easy to execute using the JMeter as well. Okay, Catalan, Newman, so many other tools are there. That is what I have shown you, the two tools we will explore in our session. Someone will ask what is REST. I told you most frequently used are the types of the API that is called REST. It's a lightweight as compared to SOAP, and we use different types of the format like JSON and XML, and most frequently use is the JSON only. Okay, so whatever the questions I have written, right, all are your interview question. If you're not clear with these basics things, you will reject in the interview. After that, you are executing the test cases. You are creating the data. That practical you are doing. But these all the things are, you have a clear idea. REST means representational state transfer is an architectural type used for design network application. It allows the different system to communicate how it is communicating with HTTP protocol and making the popular choice for the web services and API. Okay, I will also discuss with different types of the HTTP methods. So this is the features. This is your stateless. What is meaning of this? Each request from the client to the server must contain all the information needed to understand and process the request. What is meaning of stateless? The server does not store any client context between the request. So I have given you many examples. Suppose you are fetching the data from, like you are sending the request from the make my trip, right? You are fetching all the information, means get method, what it will do, it will fetch all the information from the server. So when fetching the user details, API must include the user ID token in every request, as a server does not remember the previous request. This is the one types of the I can say security we have, which is more secure. Client server architecture. REST separate the client and server concern. The client is responsible to user interface, and while the server manage the data store and logic. Example, many example we have. I have given you the some of the weather example. So client display the temperature, and while the server retrieve the weather data. Okay, so this is the uniform interface. This is the get method. So we have a different types of the HTTP method. We will try to validate all. Get method will retrieve the data from the server. So you can just take the example like this. So make my trip. So this is your get method. We are retrieving the data from the server. Okay. So here we are sending the request and we are uh, retrieving this data from the server. This all the information. This is your get method. What is post method? In make my trip, if you are not registered, you are the new users, right? Creating the new users on the server. Okay. Submit or create. So here we have a request and response body. We will discuss one by one in the depth, and we have other features also, and this is working on the card operation. The post will create and put will update the existing, and you can also we have a delete method to delete, but we have another option method, head method, and patch method. So we will explore later. I'll just adding you the features of REST. A stateless communication I already explained you. Resource based. So REST treats everything as a resource. Each resource identified by the URL. I will discuss what is the URL resource and all. Okay. So what the URI you are passing, then we have a product information that is called path parameter and query parameter we will discuss. And this is catchable. So in important information they will catch, so it will increase the performance. Okay. So response from the REST API can be cached to improve the performance when appropriate resources can be stored locally to reduce the load item. Okay. One of the important things you have to understand what is URI. Okay. So what is URI? It's a call a uniform resource identifier, a string that identify resources such as a document, image, or service on internet network. URI can be classified into two types. That is called uniform resources locator, most frequently used, that is called HTTP. So this is what we have a complete URI. Okay, so you can see here we have a HTTP method, and this is the uh, I can say the host where it is hosted. Okay, HTTPS API get post, and this is called base URI. This is called your HTTP method. This is called your base URI, and this is your endpoint. So endpoint is, suppose you are going for the Amazon, right? Then you are going for the mobile section. Mobile, okay? You are going this server. You are going for the a specification module. Inside this, you are finding the specific mobile. In the in mobile section, you're going to find Apple, Apple mobile, right? iPhone you are going to find. Okay, so that ID is your iPhone. That is called query parameter and path parameter. We will explore later. Okay, so as of now, we have gone through many theory part and all. So now I'll just execute few of the methods of the API, so you will get some confidence, guys. Okay, so first of all, what you have to do for executing the API, you have to download Postman. Okay, download Postman. So just you can download this Postman, or you can access through the web also as your wish, how it is. Once it will download, right, just install in your system. Okay, so some interface will come, default interface. You should just do the same thing. Okay, in my case I have already Postman, so that interface it will not looks like. So once you will open this Postman, right, so you have to register, guys, because you have to log in the Postman with your credential. So you can just create an account. Okay, you can see in my case uh, it's already registered. Let me, you can see I registered with this email ID. This is the profile. Okay, so uh, you have to register first. Okay, so first you can register over there. Let me open. Okay, so you have to select the workspace. Okay, so you can select any default workspace. If you will face any issue regarding the installation part, I will help you, don't worry. Okay, I will help you regarding this if you are facing any installation issue, but I don't have a data screenshot from the starting how the after installation of the Postman how the interface will come, but it's a easy interface, you guys are able to do it. So what we can do, so this is the workspace we have. Okay, so we can create one collection is nothing but it's a one second, it's a one type of the, you can say, the project you are going to create and you are validating the API. Okay, so I can write have a blank, I will write here API testing demo 15 Feb. So just we can go through the card operation of validation. Okay, so now I'm going to use Postman API. Okay, so every application we have a API. Suppose you have a API for Amazon application, you have a API for Zomato. So we will use the Postman API. So we have a some dummy API we will try to execute. Once you will create this collection, then you can just add, click on the add request. So it will come the default name. So I'm just writing get um, work a space info. So I'll do one thing. I have the data. I just want to, so what we can do, I will show you this. uh, I'm just finding the data. You have to find the data. Which API? One second, guys. This is the REST assured I open. I have to go for the basics. So we will try to execute. I will come on this, all the steps what you have to do for the creating the data. So we will try to execute get method. Okay, so get method, what is get method? So get method is one of the most common HTTP method, communicate with the client like a browser, right? We are retrieving the data from the server. One second, guys, one second. Okay, so get doesn't have a request body, get having the response body. Okay, get is safe and this is idempotent, means if you will hit multiple times it won't be impact anything. It's a catchable, it will also capture the something which is required to um, use again. And yeah, so this is about a get method, how to execute this get method. So this is what we have a URI for the get. Okay, so now if you want to execute this get method, so first of all you have to select get method. You can see all the methods are already there. I am selecting this get method and this is your URI. I can say the endpoint. When you will try to retrieve, when you will try to retrieve the data, right? So if you have to click on the send button. When you will click on the send button, we are getting 401 unauthorized error. Can you tell me what is this error about? Anyone have an idea what is 401 error? Anyone? What is 401 error? Any idea? So this is called unauthorized. First of all, you have to authorize, you have to become the authorized person to access this API. Then you have to create a API keys. Okay. So we have a different types of the authentication. We will discuss this in the coming session. Other different types of the authentication. Okay. Understood, right? So now here we have to create a key for this. How to create a key? Just you can go for this image and click on this setting. If you will go in the setting, if you will go in the setting, then go for the API, and you can see we have a generate API keys. This is the one types of the authentication. We have a one types of the authentication we have. Okay, so just you can create a generate API and copy. While creating you can copy, otherwise you will not able to. So in my case you can see I have already created this API keys. Okay, so you have to pass, one second, this authentication in the header section. Okay, so you can see we have a one header section. So here uh, the keys you have to pass, let me, I'll just copy from here. So keys you have to pass, then you have to ask the question how I understand what the key and value you have to pass. You will get all the information from your a specific requirement document, or you can collect this all the information from dev team. Okay, so dev team will give you all the details. You should not worry if you are not have any much details about of this all the things. Okay, so now I have passed this. If I will hit now, you can see still we are getting unauthorized error. I'll do one thing. I'll create a separate new API keys. Okay, so let me create this. I am already there. Mm, I'll delete this. Delete. So now I'm going to create Postman API. Okay, then you can just generate this API, and you can see they are saying make sure you copy this API key now. This is only one time. Okay, so just copy this, otherwise you are not able to copy. So you can just paste anywhere. Sticky notes, you can see. Okay, I just pasted here for your reference purpose, and now you can again, I will go here and I will, oh, I was doing one mistake, sorry, that's why it was not working. Okay, so basically we are giving in the param. Okay, I will come on the param later. You have to give inside this header section. Header section, mainly this is for the authentication and authorization purpose. We are using this all the things. Okay, previous API will also work. That, sorry, API keys also work, but we are doing some mistake, that's why it is showing still unauthorized. So now I have pasted and just save also. Sometime what happened when you will execute this and we are not going to save it, so what happened, it when you will close the Postman, right, then what happened, you will lost your data. Well, now I just, my mic is removed from that. Am I audible, all of you? Can you confirm, anyone, am I audible or not?
Yes.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see get method is retrieving the data from the server. What the data, you can see this is the workspaces we have. So we have a multiple workspace, you can see, and this all the workspaces we are getting in the response. You can see this is your workspace. Then we have a ID. Every workspace we have a unique ID. Okay, the same thing, the UI, right? When you are hitting the information, when you are try to book the those API, I don't have a handy, and many APIs the companies are not going to do the public, so you cannot directly use their API. But the dummy API you can do the practice and you can apply in your company project. Okay, So you can see all the server means all the workspace information you are getting. So when you are hitting searching the flight from Bangalore to Hyderabad, when you are clicking on the search button, it is hitting in the server from the all the airlines. You are getting all the information, but in those things we are doing in your UI, not in API, because that is the user interface. I can't give you the users to use this API and book the tickets, right? So this is about of get method. So you can see we have retrieving the data from the server. What is the important things you have to do? You have to check all this existing servers are uh, sorry, workspaces are displaying or not. Okay, then you have to also validate some of the, you can see this is an array. This is the one of the challenging thing, guys. You have to understand the JSON format and you have to create a sometime the JSON request body. So these things you have to have a practice. Okay, so you can see this is returning in the JSON, and this is we have a array and one object, and the same thing we can try to automate using the rest assured. So this is about of get method. And now we have a post method. So post method will create, I have given you the all the snapshot how to create a, I can say uh, Postman API keys, how to install the Postman API key, step by steps, everything I have mentioned over there. One question, if you want to display one of the a specific workspace, okay, so we can just have a this copy of this ID and I want to display one of the specific workspace. You can pass this ID and you can hit, and now you will get the details information of the specific workspace. So now this is the details of the specific workspace what we have. In this workspace, it is also displaying what the collection we have. Okay, you can see this is the workspace and this is the collection. In this collection, right? So we have, we will also discuss later about of the collection, what the collection we have for the a specific workspace. Okay, so this is the another information. You can see this is the layer of the JSON. That is what you have to understand. Okay, understood, right? So we are retrieving the data from the server. Now another requirement is how to create a workspace. So we can use the post method. Okay, so just I have a create new workspace. Okay, so just change this post method, and now you can just copy this URI. This URI is the same, nothing is changed, only you have to in the post method, right? You have to pass the request body. Before that, you can just copy this keys, otherwise it won't be work. So I'll just copy this key. Okay, so going to copy this key. Okay, this is your key. Okay, and now in the post method, because you are creating the data on the server, so you have to pass the request. Okay, so in the request, right, go for the body, select raw and click on the JSON. So I'm using the JSON format. It will support text also, it will support JavaScript, JSON, but most frequently used is your JSON. So here you have to pass the request body. As a tester, you have to create a data. Okay, you are not able to create a data, you don't have an idea, you can ask to the developer, hey, please share the request data. Okay, they will share you accordingly. We can create, you know accordingly we can create our test cases. Okay, and we can execute it. So I think, where is this, I'm just, this is, 1 second, I'll just copy the data from here. So we have a post, so this is the request body we have. So many of them have a question how to get this data. So you can take the help from the dev team. Dev team will provide you, or you can take the help from the uh, your a specification requirement document. And this JSON, format we have to learn. Okay, like you can see here, we have a one open curly braces, then we are passing one here. This is the one object, and you can see we have a array. Inside this array you have a multiple object. Those things while doing the practice you will understand this. Okay, and now I'm just going to create a new workspace. So I will say Feb 20. Today is 15 Feb 2025. So I'm just creating the new workspace. Okay, I'm just changing the workspace name. Other part I can keep like this. So if I will click on the send button, right? So you guys can see this is created. This workspace is created. Okay, so now this workspace is created, but how to validate this workspace is created or not? You can directly check here. Okay, uh, it's a difficult to find here where it is, but you can check in the API only this workspace is created. You can just copy this ID and check here this workspace is created or not. This validation you can do it. Okay, so you can see this workspace is created and it's giving the details, information, description, visibility, created by, created at, and updated. Understood, right? So this is how you can execute your API using the Postman. The same thing we can automate using the rest assured. I'll just show you the one of the code of the rest assured. So you will have some idea how the automation rest assured will work. Okay. So same, whatever the testing you are doing in the Postman, the same thing we can automate in your rest assured. Okay. So I will teach you how to do the setup and all for the rest assured, right? Important library we have to add. Okay. So now you can see here this is we are doing manually. We are doing the manually all the things. The same thing we can automate using the rest assured library, and rest assured is developed on the Java. I think it is taking time to load. Okay, so we have a many things, guys. I have shown you the syllabus, right? So we have a many things. It's open now. You can see now. So this is the rest assured code we have. I told you visit of the Java. If you don't have, just brush up. Even you have become a master, at least you have a basics how a static and non-static members works. Okay. So in this code, what we are trying to do, here we are using the get method. Okay, and we are going to retrieve the data. We are going to retrieve the data. Actually, this will fail because this is the we have already created a new one, right? So let me, I'll just copy here. I'm not going because you guys are beginner. If you will not understand this, just I am showing you how we can do the automation using the rest assured. Okay, so this one we have to add here. So now we are using the get method and we are retrieving the name, we are retrieving the type and visibility. So we can go for the a specific workspace and we are going to retrieve. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, this is the rest assured code. Okay, so you should have a basics knowledge of Java, then only you can have a better understanding of the rest assured. Okay, so we are retrieving the one a specific workspace for a specific data. So it's taking time to execute. You can see it's executed, and you can see here this is the workspace one. Okay, and the type is here personal, So this information we are retrieving through the rest assured. Okay, type or name and type or other validation if required in your test cases, right? So we have to validate. Okay, so anyone having any doubt till now here? Anyone? So guys, if you guys are interested to explore your API testing and rest assured in the automation, after completing the course, you can nicely put to 1 to 2 year of experience in API. You can put more than that, but as your wish, how you are comfortable with that doing the practice. This is the class timing, regular class timing we have. Okay, and course duration you can consider minimum 45 days because it's having the many things to explore in your basics API also and rest assured. Okay, so course fee is 18,000. Okay, but after discount fee is 9,000. Okay, this is the live session only, and I am the tutor only. I will teach you. If you guys want to explore this, you guys can enroll this course from the Monday. You can join the regular session if you as your wish. Okay, for enrollment and all how to do it, I will share on your group. Okay, see you guys, I will share the notes also and I will share the video also. So whatever the notes you are getting, you will get this all the PDF notes and daily videos. Okay, recording video you will get. Suppose you are missing the classes, you can revise through the notes and video. Okay, see you guys. Other information I will post on the group. Thank you all of you. क्या बोली पायल? क्या बोली पायल डॉक्टर?